Hi guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to look at the E92 M3 in a bit more detail, and particularly the rod bearing issue. Now, if you guys have one of these cars or you're thinking about buying one, you've probably heard about this issue and you're probably wondering whether it's real or whether it's been blown out of proportion. Now, we have changed quite a few rod bearings on these cars, so we have seen a wide spectrum of wear on them. And so in this video, we're going to change a set of rod bearings on a 2011 competition pack car, and we're going to show you the wear on those ones. And we've also got a set of rod bearings we've taken from a 62,000 mile car that was a 2008 model, and then show you what those look like. Halfway through the video, we're going to basically show you what a new rod bearing looks like, and then compare it against the old ones to show you where the potential issue lies and what can happen if you get excessive wear on the rod bearings.
Ryan Little.
Japan.
So we're halfway through the job now. We've got the rod bearings from the car we're working on at the moment. We've got a new set over here ready to go in, and then we've got a set from a car that had 62,000 miles. Now these are the previous generation rod bearings, so they're the original ones that came with cars from around 2007 to 2010. And this set is the updated ones they did from 2010 to the end of the life of the car. Now these ones, BMW changed the material, but they didn't change the design. So what we're going to do now is show you how the rod bearings are placed in relation to the engine. So this is a connecting rod. It's not from a BMW for the keen guys out there. It's from a Vauxhall, but it's the only one we had here. As you can see, the bearing shell goes in between the connecting rod, and then the crank sits in here, and then you have a layer of oil in between here, so it facilitates the movement of two moving metal pieces without them touching. The problem with the BMW rod bearings is, especially in the E92 M3, the S65 engine and the S85 engine in the V10 M5, is that the tolerance between the crank and the rod bearing is actually really tight. Now what happens is when that oil is cold, it's actually quite thick and it needs a bit of time to get up to temperature. So if you don't allow the car to warm up properly before you rev the car really hard, you get excessive wear on the bearings. Now the bearings have a locating tab, which you can see in there. And then what happens is when you get excessive wear on that locating tab basically wears down, and that allows it to spin. Now when that spins, you've got a situation where you have anywhere from a damaged crank to the engine seizing and anything in between. So you are looking at like a bottom end engine rebuild. Now if we take a look at the bearings we've taken out of this car, these are the updated design, so they don't show copper when they wear. They have some wear on them, but as you can see, the locating tab is actually in pretty good condition. So these are pretty good condition. They probably didn't need changing, but the customer bought the car secondhand and wanted to do it for peace of mind. Now he knows that if he runs the car properly, warms it up, he's not gonna have to change them for the lifetime of the car. Now these ones came from a 2008 car with 62,000 miles. If I spin them around so I can show you the locating tabs, now you can see the difference. So if we come over here, you can see the difference between the locating tabs on these. They're actually quite worn and pushed in. So it was a good idea for this customer to change these rod bearings. Now I'm not saying that a failure was imminent, but you can quite clearly see that the locating tab has actually worn down quite a bit. And as these are the old design from BMW, they've worn quite badly, as you can see, and you can see the copper coming through them. Now there is a couple of ways people are trying to detect whether the rod bearings need changing. One of those is that they get oil tests done and send that to an oil laboratory to check how much copper content is in there. Now that can be useful, but it's not like a definitive to give you the information you need, because you'd have to do those oil tests over a continuous period of time to check if those levels are changing. As far as we're concerned, we count this as preventative maintenance. You know, for the amount of money that you're doing them for peace of mind, it's a lot cheaper than replacing an engine in the car or having to do an extensive engine rebuild. Hope you guys enjoyed the time lapse of Aston changing the rod bearings on the car we currently have in the workshop and found this video informative. As I mentioned earlier, we do feel that this is a genuine issue on the S65 and S85 engines. Basically, the tolerance is very tight, and when the engine oil is cold, it doesn't get the viscosity to get in between the shell and the crank, and that's what causes the wear. If you haven't had the car from new, for example, and know that you've warmed the car up every single time you've run the car and then revved it hard, there's really no way to tell that they're actually worn and need replacing. So as far as we're concerned, and it's something that I advise my friends and family also when they buy one of these cars, is to see the rod bearings as preventive maintenance, because it's a lot cheaper than replacing a damaged engine. If you guys have any questions about the video or anything that we've discussed in here, please feel free to shoot us an email or drop a comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching, guys. If you want to watch more of our videos, you can watch them over here. If you want to watch what YouTube suggests that you might like from our videos, you can watch them over here. As always, if you haven't already, please like our video and subscribe to our channel. If you've got any questions for us, please drop them in the comments below and we'll do our best to answer them for you.